This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is Emily Frankel.
Hello, John.
Hello, Emily.
The subject is going to be,
Oh, yes.
and this is for M's Talkery, my
Okay.
blog.
All
Therefore, we
right,
have to
all
pick
right.
the subject very
I'm
carefully.
looking forward to it.
Critics.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
Critics, our friends, the
Oh,
critics.
yes, our friends, the critics.
Remember, we used to have dinner. We met Clive Barnes a couple of times and sat around and had cocktails with him and dinner with him.
Yeah, well,
I was very nervous because I wanted a very good review from Clive Barnes. And
well, he was a great dance critic.
Yes, but I never got the reviews that I wanted him to write.
Oh, that son of a gun.
But he liked you.
Well, I liked him, too.
He did a wonderful, wonderful review of you for Shenandoah.
Did he really?
Well, I wouldn't let you read it.
I know, and you know I insulted him? About that, did I ever tell you that?
No, don't tell us that.
Oh, you know.
Did you really?
Well,
You thought I know you were going to say that he gave you bad reviews.
well, I hadn't read the reviews because I had, by that time I wasn't reading reviews. I told you why I didn't read reviews, didn't
Tell us why you didn't read it.
I? Well, when I did Hamlet in Toronto,
I remember.
Yes. The reviewer came, we were up there for like 9 weeks, and the reviewer came and gave us a review, and he said, I was playing Laertes, and he said, among other things, Laertes, Horatio, and Ophelia are waxen images. And I thought, boy, that's pretty bad. Then he came back after 9 weeks, and he reviewed it again, and he said, Horatio, Ophelia, and Laertes have deteriorated. So I stopped reading reviews. But what happened with Clive was, I went and was having a conversation with him at a cocktail party, and he started complaining about the fact that we had done a commercial with me outside of the theater in Shenandoah. And he said that wasn't fair. There you were standing out there in the grass. They don't have real grass, and the wind was blowing, and you could see for miles. And I said, well, that was the cheapest way we could do it. We did it with the recording, and it gave us a good boost at the box office, and it sounded good. We just used the recording and everything. And besides, I said, you didn't do much help for me in the reviews. And he turned red, and he just turned and walked away.
And
I didn't know
and
that.
Clive's reviews were wonderful for you.
Oh my God!
Well, I want you to talk a little bit about Frank Rich, because Frank Rich really put screws and the kibosh or kibosh. What is it when you cut the head off?
He was a killer.
He was a killer. He was a show killer. And sharp.
Oh,
and
he was smart. He was
mean
smart.
and verbal.
Well, everybody thought he was mean, and I didn't particularly enjoy it. It was always a pleasure to read his reviews, as long as you weren't getting hit by him. But he could devastate a play, and he never would accept the fact that he was responsible for killing shows.
For the show closing.
Yeah, but that just came with the territory when you were the Times critic, and he could be devastating to a show.
But the wonderful thing about him, John, is that now that he is not the critic, but a general critic and criticizing politics,
He's an editorial writer.
he's wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah, and he does
thoughtful, constructive. Very, very
precise and insightful.
exciting.
Yeah.
So I think critics grow up like actors grow up.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Well, I think that they just, I don't mind critics as long as they stay in love with the theater. It's when they fall out of love and they begin to be devastating and critical all the time. And I don't like critics who are too personal. There are a few that just say things personally that are very unpleasant.
Well, we had a policy in our household when our son J.D. also was getting reviews. And the policy is you don't read your own reviews I read the reviews and I filter back a few words, but I make sure that I don't put words in John's head so that John, when he's on stage and comes to a certain moment, suddenly remembers, oh, I look like a cowboy. Suddenly becomes a cowboy. There was a critic in Boston who said, John looked like a cowboy.
He stands there with his arms akimbo like Tom Mix. And we had an interview, and I said, what do you got against Tom Mix? I like Tom.
Well, if I were a critic,
Yes.
I would give you raves all the time.
And if you were a critic, I would probably be in love with critics. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next weekend.
This is AI.R. See you next week.